Welcome to the Cause to Become podcast, episode 3. And today I'm here with my man, JD. JD, you mind introducing yourself to the people right here real quick?
I'm JD, Jared Dean, aka JD. I'm an artist, rapper, singer, songwriter. I produce, I mix, master in music. Other than that, outside of my life, I help run a small business. And then, of course, I do train here at Revolution. So love this place. Who I am, man, I'm one of you. I'm one of you guys. I'm pursuing my dream. I'm just all about trying to become the best self, right? Best version of ourselves. I think that's something that everybody should be achieving. I think it's a lost thought. It just seems like as time goes on, this generation or generations beneath us need that little bit of lift. And I see it coming back, and I think it's important. So,
and JD's so humble, man. JD is so humble. He is a rapper, artist, producer, but he is the man. His music is absolutely electric. Like I was just listening to it this morning. I was getting hyped up over here.
That, bro.
So, real talk. Anybody who wants to listen to some good music, who wants to get hyped up, please go check out JD's music. And today we want to know, about who JD is beyond just the music too. We want to know about like what's the mind behind this creative, art form that we see that put out here. And we're gonna do this over a workout. JD's just an absolutely great guy here, and we just want to talk about it and see what's going on. We're gonna explore art. We're gonna explore fitness. We're gonna explore, what's going on in the mind of a creator. And to all the creators out there, I hope that you can tune in and kind of stay here so that we can really unpack what it's like behind the scenes, behind the greatness, opening up the kimono, as I like to say. So we're gonna get into this workout here with JD.
Man.
Let's go.
Thank you, man.
So, okay, so what started first, bro? Was it like your fitness grind or you getting into music?
Definitely music. So I actually grew up, my brother Nico, he was a rapper himself.
That's dope.
So for me, when I was growing up, they were doing hoodlum shit when I was growing up. I'm the baby of the family, so they're much older than me too, 8 to 11 years. All 3 of my brothers.
So you're the baby, okay.
So I was definitely, let's just say, like protected a little bit more. They're definitely grown, doing teenage stuff too. At a certain age, I'm just too young to be indulging and all that. I get it for sure. And he was in a rap group called The Brown Plague. So they're all Mexican, long story short. And
let me ask that. What's your ethnicity?
So all my 3 brothers are half brothers. So I'm the only one between my parents that's like pretty much different from them. And then my brother C's a little bit different too. But I'm actually learning more and more about myself. But majority of my ethnicity is Portuguese, for certain. Like 50% of my blood is Portuguese. And then the other 50% is attributed to Native American. I just found out like 2 days ago I have a little bit of Italian in my blood, which is super new information.
Kind of that like gargly, like you kind of got like a unique voice and a unique look, bro. Real talk.
I get the uniqueness a lot, and like before the mustache, when I was just baby JD, like I used to get a lot of like Persian descent. People would think I was Persian. Yeah. So a lot of people would think that I'm just from a completely other descent, but as I've gotten a little older, people have started to see more of the like Mexican side that's in me. I have a little bit of Mexican blood, a little bit of Spanish blood, Native American, more mixed from my dad's side. My mom's just Portuguese.
Got you. So you grew up the baby of the bunch, and you said 3 older brothers?
Yeah. But that music group, to bring it full circle for you, that music group is what I had as an influence of hip-hop, of rap. And I mean, I couldn't want anything more than to follow after my brother's footsteps. And I grew up with rock and heavy metal, and I grew up with all kinds of music, but definitely as I got older, I wanted to write. I always knew I wanted to make music. So from a kid, I always knew that I wanted to do it, but then I had, let's just call it 15 years of unknowing, growing, maturing life. Like, I didn't even think it was really possible. How do you get there?
Wait, until you were 15 years old?
No, I'm saying 15 years went by.
So when did you start making music?
I dropped my first song when I was 20 years old.
Dang.
21.
Yeah.
Let me see. No, 20 years old. And
so when you
sorry,
were...
wait a minute, I'm getting backed up. Might be 21 years old.
It's all
when
right,
I graduated, basically January of 2020.
Yeah.
Forget, I'm getting older, guys. I'm forgetting I'm 26. So yeah, in 2020 January is when I dropped my very first song ever. So I must have been 21.
Got you.
Is when I dropped my very first song
Dang,
ever.
bro, that's cool. So when you were like 5 years old, when you were a little kid, you were looking at your brothers and you were like, you know what, like I want to do that. Now, did you want to be like your brother, or did you just like the music called to you, or were you like, I want to be like my brother?
It's the music.
Okay.
Because to be honest, like I have a lot of similarities as my brothers in personality, or even in personality as well as like looks. I definitely look like some of my brothers, but I'm not nothing like them, but we're all very different in my opinion. I think we're all pretty different, and especially musically, I think I'm different. So I don't think it was ever really wanting to be my brother. No, it was more or less the inspiration to create music was because he could, you know, because he was able to, and because he was talented enough to. You know, I'm not trying to diss nobody in the Brown Plague, but by far, of course, it's probably biased. I could call it biased, but I always thought my brother was the most skilled amongst them.
Yeah.
And so
there we go.
With that, I think I gained a competitive edge when it was my turn to start creating.
Yeah.
But I started creating when I was 17.
Hell yeah.
Is when I...
Okay, so you grew up, where did you grow up at again?
So I was born in Whittier.
Okay.
Like literally born in Whittier. I grew up in La Mirada. So
got you.
I don't know if anybody knows where La Mirada is at, but if you're watching, it is pretty sure right kissed up to Whittier. So
yeah, it is.
I grew up around there for about 11 years. Shout out to all the homies that I grew up with. Some people I still talk to today, just over the internet, but man, that place definitely raised me.
So is that your hometown?
That's my hometown.
So when you rep, are you repping 562?
I know. I'm out in the IE. As long as I've been in the IE, I've always been IE.
Yeah.
Like, I think there was a certain age where I'm like, I've been out in the IE just as long as where I was, you know, raised in home in La Mirada, to the point where I was like, I want to be proud of representing where I'm at. Yeah. And not where I'm from.
Okay, so now here's one of the things that I'm curious about. So you grew up in La Mirada. You were the youngest of four. Yeah. And they were already into rap and music, and they had stuff, and you were being influenced, and you were like, you know what? That just resonated with my soul. I want to do this. At 20 or 21, you dropped your first song. But I'm curious, like, this whole time you're listening to music, you're living life, like up until between 5, you know, when you really inspired to when you dropped your first song. What are you listening to? What type of music are you listening to? What inspired you the most? Yeah. Like, what was that period like when it comes to your artistic stuff? Because I feel like artists have been artists way before they even dropped their first album or made their first painting.
Definitely.
You know, so what was it like then? Like, what were you listening to? What inspired you?
When I was a young kid, there was a lot of Eminem in my ears. A lot of Eminem.
There we go.
Mainly because honestly it was entertaining music. That's why I listened to it so much. It was really entertaining. I mean, I'd get in trouble for listening to Eminem, so I always thought it was even cooler to listen to Eminem while everybody else was and whatnot. But I really did listen to a lot of the West Coast rap, NWA, Dr. Dre, just, let's see, I'm trying to think of what else. Okay, Living Legends, Grouch and Eli, like those are even some more old school names that are they're working today. Yeah. Still, they're working today with some of my newer favorite artists of like this generation that's going on, which is sick to see. But grew up with a lot of old head rap, and then beyond the old head rap. Because
you know your style's a little different than what the newer stuff is today.
It is. I think it's a little bit more homage to like
to
the old school stuff and the wordplay. I mean, I'm not here to just rap about drugs and and the party life and chicks. I mean, it's just it's been played out. So
bro, I think see like you're in the pad.
Yes, I'm in pen to pad. And then shout out Proxy. Proxy is a homie of mine who makes music, but he got me into a free flow state where there's times where I won't pick up a pen in the whole entire song. And I'll be in there punching. And you know, it's not like one take type of stuff, but I'm really in there thinking about the words I want to say. And then most of the time, I'll come up with 80%, maybe 100% of the song,
Yeah.
and then what's left, I'll hit the pad. Or if I'm like, that what I said there was whack, I want to go correct it and make sure I put that forward thought.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think there's something to that, man. I've noticed this in my life too, in my creative process. Is like, I think a lot of times people get so caught up in like editing and like making it all perfect on first go, and when you can just find it like free flow and just freestyle, or whether you're writing or you're rapping or writing an essay or anything, just being able to just go off the top and then kind of correct and hone from there is like a really important first skill. Just get something out there, let it be from your heart. So
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you can always fine tune it if, you know.
Okay, so what would you say is your number one influence in when you're in your music career? Like the number one artist that
one artist?
Yeah, that you kind of like look up to. Like for me, it has to be J. Cole for me, bro.
You know, it was J. Cole for me for a long time, but
Yeah.
there's something about
You good with
rap
this weight
game.
here?
Yeah. mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna go up at like 10.
For sure. There's something about the rap game that like you really get taught to not look up to so many people, I guess.
Oh, that's interesting.
So
We see
at least
we see with Drake and stuff, right?
yeah. And you know what? Like, shout out J. Cole. He's a GOAT. My point is that you're never going to agree with every single decision that somebody makes. And if you agree with someone 100% of the time, I almost think that's a little weird.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Kind of seem like a yes man at that point.
Exactly.
So I think I don't know, but let's just say
Authenticity, right? Like if you're 100% authentically you'll never be able to be somebody else.
And you'll never be able to agree with someone 100%.
Means, yeah, if you agree with someone 100%, then you're not being you.
Exactly.
Because you're not the clone, right? You're different.
Yeah. So let's see. One artist that really, I'm trying to think hard for you on this because I think this is important, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to just throw a name out there, you know?
I want to know the one artist that inspired you. And then I also am curious to know, okay, like what pieces of their music and like what was the most impactful part of them? Was it their lyricism or was it their story, you know?
Right.
What artist? You know, no pressure, bro, but just whatever comes.
I definitely just want to make sure I'm not like saying some random ass shit. I feel like people just will say their favorite rapper of this generation when really, I don't know if that's all that.
When you were,
I know of someone.
Like when you were a young kid, what
Atmosphere.
What's that?
Atmosphere.
Okay.
Atmosphere.
What about Atmosphere resonated with you, bro?
His pen. It was his pen, and it was his authentic music is really what it was. He wasn't the most poppin' hip-hop head out there. He's not the most famous, but he has respect in the game, and when it comes to hip-hop, I gotta say that's one. I don't even listen to him as much as I did when I was a kid. I'm at a point where, like, I'm onto newer music that I like to bump. I like to explore a lot of music. I'm even listening to a lot more outlaw country right now. But
I can see that vibe.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. But just in general, that guy, I think he was probably the most impactful when it came to the creativeness of music.
Yeah.
I don't know why I feel that way about it, but that's definitely an artist that was always in my playlist. And he had me on a couple songs when I was growing up.
That he got you through?
At a weird age, though. Like 10 or 11.
Bro, those are the most impactful.
I know, but you have those like contemplations at such a young age of a song, and then when you get older and you finally realize what that song meant, and you're like, why did I, what? You know,
That's so funny.
One of those, it's like one of those things. Or, I know one. It's funny, I just talked about this recently, because someone was talking about LimeWire on Threads.
Yeah.
Kid Cudi, bro.
Bro, Kid Cudi, bro.
I haven't listened to the new stuff. I can't speak on the new stuff, but Kid Cudi was definitely somebody like that had me tranced out. Solo Dolo when I was a kid, dude. I loved that song so much.
Bro, Kid Cudi is the shit. I think there's so many, like Pursuit of Happiness, Erase Me, Soundtrack to My Life.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bro, all of those are just fundamentals and staples. Like, keeps you in. You want to keep this 10?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So, like, Kid Cudi was just definitely one of those people on the creative side. So,
yeah.
like, I think I have a couple tracks where I might have stepped out of my comfort zone, and then something beautiful came of it. I think that was my first time. Was like, Let Me Ride. Let Me Ride was.
I just listened to that, bro.
That song is actually like the one song that my audience always tells me, that's your motherfucking song, you know, and I totally get it. It's definitely one of my best songs. I wouldn't have never made it if I didn't feel comfortable jumping into another genre, whereas A lot of people in hip hop fucking hate that. Don't know why. Because I think it's sick. But a lot of people in hip hop love a one lane guy, make your name in hip hop. And yeah, you know, I think there's a sector of hip hop people, the real creators that do enjoy all of it. And then there's people who are just fans of hip hop. But I'm not making it for them, right? Like, I'm always making it for me. So.
Bro, and that's the thing that I can tell in your music is that you're being authentic and true to yourself. Like, you're a real one, bro. And that's the biggest thing about it.
I fucking hate to sound like I'm tooting my horn, but I tell people that because of that. I'm like, I'm not trying to sound arrogant or like I have some ego or something like that. Where, man, that gets tossed on us all the time.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm like, I'm a real one, and I don't mean that in I'm gonna beat your ass if you cross my line or something. Just more or less, I'm always gonna be my authentic self.
100%.
Always. So that's the definition of.
I think that's the
real
key.
One to me,
That 100% being authentically you, bro, and that comes out in your music. Like, I can hear that, you know, and that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, let's get this, JD. Yeah.
I'm gonna go for another.
Let's go. Push. Oh, one more, JD. Come on.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Easy. Dude,
You know?
the authenticity piece for sure. Okay, so what you said was super, I think, so important, maybe to young artists, but just to young creators out there, is like, you said, never be afraid. I wasn't afraid to step out of my own genre and to be able to pursue something, and that ended up being your best song so far.
Absolutely.
Bro.
And so, even leading into the
And that's,
I
you're
Love
being
When It Hurts EP,
authentically you.
a lot of people love that EP. It's not even in the rap genre. It's not. It's not. But like Rita was supposed to be the attempt of blending that. So when you hear I Love When It Hurts EP, 3 songs, 2 of them are like a pop alternative, and you got one that's a little more indie alternative. So Rita is like supposed to be the blend there to pay the respect of I'm making alternative music, I guess, mixed with a rap trap set of drums with a melodic flow.
Yeah.
It's just kind of an experimental song, but that song too,
though, bro, because
100%.
Look at your style, bro. You riding a Harley, you got the mustache, you got that voice, you got
100%.
and you're a fitness trainer, bro. Like you.
I just feel like
how do you put you in a box, bro? I don't know.
I don't like to be put in a box. I definitely don't like to be put in a box.
So, bro, yeah, tell me more about that.
I just think if life is giving you a calling, don't be afraid to pursue that. So I haven't made as much music last year than I did the other 4 years, not nearly as much. But life was calling me to focus on elevating myself. Life was calling me to focus on being a good partner. Life was calling me to focus on building something that I can live into the next 10, 15 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so I did that. I did that last year. That's where I put my focus. I wasn't afraid of not creating. Creators, don't be afraid to not create too.
Fact.
It happens. It's not writer's block all the time, you know. Life gets us caught up.
It seemed like what you were doing is building the foundation so that you can build a skyscraper.
And guess what? Now I have the crib.
Yeah.
I have my office room. I'm upgrading my equipment right now as we speak.
Perfect.
And I'm getting ready to take off again. And that, all it was that year off of not creating. Still had music in the vault. Still made some drops. You know, made some noise without really making some noise. And that was what was crazy. I think last year was my biggest year of growth. Didn't even do much. Didn't even do anything. I had one show.
That's huge, bro.
I had one show. So,
but you know, as the person behind the lyrics and everything, behind the art, you know that your pen, that your mind has gotten sharper.
Yeah.
And you've been focusing on your relationships, your fitness, been dialing in on getting your life set up as a man.
Right.
And now that gives you a foundation to go and be like, all right, now I'm stable, and now I got things squared away. Now it's go time, bro. Now you going to war.
I think there's
you know,
a difference between like somebody who really is. I think J. Cole has a track about this. Like, what do you really want? Are you doing it for fame, right?
the climb back. I
Yeah.
think? Is it?
And I think when you're somebody who really is doing it for fame or doing it for the attention and all that stuff, not to get crazy with you guys, but like, look at all of the celebrities that are either getting in trouble or victims right now. That's where that gets you.
That's true, 100%.
So there's a difference between people that are creating, trying to be artists, or that are artists, versus people that are faking, like being the artist.
I think a lot of people out there, no matter what they've done in life, being a rapper, being a professional athlete, you know, like these are some things where it's like they always kind of have that appeal to it a little bit. You know?
Yeah, no, for sure.
And I think a lot of people are really curious about it, and it's cool to be able to see the mind behind that.
Right.
You know, and I think some people live vicariously through you too. You know.
You know, for me, I also feel like I'm doing this because I think what you're doing is also sick, and I'm doing this as a part of my support for people in general. I'm all about individuality, the old American. Let's just say I might not like what you say, but I'll defend your right to say it. I'm a big believer in all of that. So for me, by the way, this doesn't necessarily apply to you. I'm just making a statement.
No.
But for me, getting behind you on this is I can always get behind somebody that is like your brand itself, caused to become being themselves. I just love authenticity. You can see it, and you know when you see it. And me getting behind this is also in my end to get my audience to learn about you, because I feel that same way.
Appreciate that, bro.
I want to push people that are elevating others.
That's what it's really about, you know, is like, it's not some people are rappers, some people want to build a business, some people want to build a family, some people, I think everyone is a creator. Everyone has a purpose to build and create something. And I just want to help people find out, you know, what that art form is for them, and for them to go out there and be the best version of themselves in it, you know? And it takes, like you said, honing in on the vessel, on you, allows you to create better art.
100%.
So right here in the gym, we hone in on us so we could dial it in on how we create. JD, bro, you are making these songs, you're stepping outside your genres, you're doing stuff that resonates to you, you're being authentically yourself. But when it comes time to get in the studio and record the stuff, like, how do you go about doing this, bro? Like, what's your process to create your art?
Definitely, I feel like there's some creators out there that will disagree with me, for sure. But I just don't believe being in the studio all the time. I just really don't believe in it. That's just me. I don't care if somebody else does it. But I think when I create, I have a couple songs from the past that I like kind of dislike, I guess.
That's interesting.
I think that happens very often as artists.
Well, because you're growing, right? And evolving.
Yeah. And I think I was so eager to create that I kept myself in the studio. And I'm not saying that they're bad songs, but I'm like, man, what about that made me make that, you know? In terms of like how I don't like it now. Doesn't mean I take it away from my audience. People bump it.
Yeah.
I let them bump it. But it's more or less just like, I think if I would go back, maybe I wouldn't make it.
Yeah.
Now that I am older.
You think you did it because you were just like, hey, I'm in the studio, I need to put something out? As opposed to like, I think
because it was so early, I thought, well, I have to, because everyone's also saying I have to.
Oh,
the music industry.
Yeah.
Like, not even the music industry, but people that are in the scene are saying you have to. So I tried to do that, tried to keep up a little bit. And then I realized, okay, like, this is not how I do it. I love the songs that I make now so much that I'm like, I can't force myself to just write something, whatever, because it's just not who I am. So for me, it starts off with that burning fire, oftentimes.
Do you have like a process or a flow, or it just kind of comes to you while you're driving or something?
Yeah, it's literally that.
Driving, I feel like, is just the idea central, bro.
It is. So it'll happen that way. Or like, let's just say right now, after this, I'm like, oh man, I'm on this fucking high, where I'm like, I need to write. I need to write right now. Yeah. Like, I need to go find the beat or something that is gonna make me jive right now.
So you ride the momentum.
I'll ride the momentum. And there's definitely songs that I have because of the fact that I want this to be my career, right? I do have songs that I take my time to write. And maybe it's not so much on the burning fire. And maybe it is a little bit more on the having to really be creative. But most of the time, it's when that fire is inside. Yeah. And I'll ride the wave, dude. I'll ride the wave, and I'll end up with the song. What? I mean, Always War was like 3 different fires. I'll put it that way.
Bro.
Always War was like 3 different fires. So one day was the hook and the first verse. And then another day, I came in, second verse. And then another day, I did the intro. Just because I was like, there's ode to my family and friends has to be made. And you know, sorry, I just hit the mic, but as like a music engineer and just song structure, obviously I see and hear things, but they don't always come to me right away. So like, I'll sit on it and I'll think about just that for a couple days, and one day it'll come to me and I'm like, oh my God, there it is. And that's where I think I hit the jackpot on a lot of my music. I also don't agree with saying that like I'm slept on. I don't agree with that. God has what is meant for me, but I definitely could say I'm an underrated artist.
Yeah. I would 100% agree with that, bro.
I just know that I am. Like,
I would 100%.
I know
agree.
that I am.
Bro,
but
you know, that's the thing, bro. And I would say I'm an underrated podcast. Bro. I'm an underrated right now in content creation, right? Mm-hmm. But and that's the thing. That's why I feel like I resonate with your music so much, is because you know who you are, irrespective of the views or the plays or, you know, how many shows, how big the crowds are. You are rapping like you're a fucking superstar selling out Madison Square Garden right now. And I can hear that.
Right.
And that is dope, bro.
And I know that my time is gonna come.
Yeah.
But also, I grew up Catholic. I would say definitely my life has changed a lot as far as religion. I'm kind of more like spiritual these days. Yeah. I very much believe in Jesus Christ, God. Yep. I'm not like opposed to going to church. I'm not. I just simply, it's just not in my lifestyle. But I really just I've had my troubles. I've had my trials and tribulations. Yeah. With faith. And when I got into my motorcycle accident, is when it really sealed it all for me. And so now that's kind of how I live life. I like how I said I wanted to be in a free flow with you. That's exactly how I handle a lot of aspects of life. Yeah. There's definitely times where, hey, we're in reality. There's no time to waste. You got to get on that fucking grind and hop on that horse. Yeah. But my point being, because not everything is so free flow. Some people take advantage of that to just be lazy. That's true. But I wanted to be in a free flow because I'm always like, what's meant for me is meant for me. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be prepared for your opportunity, because that's what being lucky is about, right?
100%. So, it's when preparation meets opportunity.
Exactly, when preparation meets opportunity. So that's another big thing. So like, I guess to give you a little bit of background on how I even, because I feel like Geraldine really is this whole, it's just my name, my birth given name. Yeah. But people definitely have an image of who I am, and to be honest, for the most part, they probably have the correct image.
Who is Geraldine, bro? Who is he as the artist, and who is he as the man? Yeah. And what's the difference?
So okay, gotcha. So I'm gonna give you this backstory, and I think it'll help out, kind of differentiate between the two. So I went to college at the University of Laverne. Yeah. Met great homies there. Definitely some of my favorite people that are still in my life, for sure. As soon as I graduated, I really didn't want to even pursue what I went to college for, which I have a BA in criminology. Okay. So, total mix-up, didn't even know what that really meant. Yo, many people are like
they
that. Don't know. You know what? They make you think like it's what you want, because I wanted to do forensics. Yeah. Really into watching crime scenes when I was a kid, and my whole life. I know all the serial killers and all that shit. But like, I thought that's what I wanted to do. Then I realized, oh wait a minute, this is like a lot of science, and chemistry's not my thing. So hey, that's fair. I was just like, you know what? I screwed it, just like a lot of other people. Yeah. You're not alone. I know you're not alone.
Yeah, you were like, all right, scrap this, bro.
So, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I loved Harleys, knew I always wanted to be in the culture somehow, one way or another, you know? And my brother Caesar built choppers. He built hardtails. Yeah. When I was growing up. So, as soon as I graduated, probably no more than like a week, I walked my ass into Riverside Harley Davidson, asked for the manager, and I said I want to work here. Told them I submitted everything already. And they actually sat me down and gave me the interview.
Let's go.
On the spot for having the balls.
Let's
to go in there.
That's a huge lesson, bro.
Yeah.
Have the balls and back yourself.
100%. So
Hell yeah.
I just knew I didn't want to sell cars, but I knew what I loved, and it was Harleys. So I went straight to the dealership. Went ahead and got my job. Learned a shit ton about the culture. And that's where Jared Dean also began taking off, because I had just dropped my first couple set of songs. I think I dropped my first like EP not too long after getting into Riverside. So let's just say like a year and a half goes by, almost 2 years, and I'm on my first bike. It's a 09. It's a 09 Dyna Super Glide, for those that are watching into Harleys. And I was building it. I mean, I only had my exhaust and my tuner left to install, and she was done. So I think I had just got it out the shop that day, and I just put in my 2 weeks notice to Riverside Harley. Great place. I just wasn't making the money consistent enough that I wanted to make.
Yeah.
Wasn't enjoying it there as much as I was when I first started. So I told him I'm gonna go work for my dad. I'm gonna go help him build his business. And I mean, that's that. Same day I put my 2 weeks in, I'm getting my bike out of the shop for some work that was getting done to it. And I take off down Indiana Avenue, and there's this white car. And just to try to explain the accident, there's 2 lanes on Indiana Avenue, one way and the other way. Then you got 2-way double yellow, right? So I'm following him, and there's a light on Adams Street in Riverside, and that's how you get to the freeway.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get to the freeway. I'm like, I'm gonna go around him. So I enter into the right lane, and then I hit my gas, because I'm gonna go around him. As soon as I switch over and hit my gas, he shoots over.
He switches over.
So then I go, okay, well, I'm on a bike. I got plenty of time to get to the light. I get back over, I hit my gas again, and he flips an illegal U-turn all the way across the road.
Across the...
So he went
to right lane
went
and
to
then
the right,
U-turn?
and then flipped it all the way across. It's about 7 p.m.
So you're coming like this, and he comes in front of you, basically you T-bone him.
Yeah.
And you fly over?
I went flying over 100 feet.
Oh, shit.
100 feet. So
100 feet?
And I had a choice to make, split decision. Like, I mean,
you were like hitting the gas as you.
Oh yeah, but
you were
as soon as he
accelerating.
flipped it, I smashed my brakes, and I was, kind of like fishtailing here, and I had to pick a side to hit him on. I didn't want to hit him in the center because I'm like, I might splat on the car here. I don't know if I'm gonna break my spine, whatever. Didn't want to hit towards the rear and miss and get caught under the wheel. So I was like, oh fuck, here we go. And I headed for the front bumper, went flying over my handlebars, flew 100 feet across the street, hit a parked car after tumbling.
Bro,
like smacked it with my helmet. My helmet had these like street marks all over it. And then yeah, I pretty much, it was like in a bundle. My muscles were all contorted. I was on a curb, and first thing my heart went to was my bike, because I was like, my fucking bike. And then I realized, holy crap, I should be dead, but I'm alive.
Yeah.
And then it got real scary, and I didn't know if I was paralyzed or what. I mean, I didn't. I got immediate help, and speaking of like my heritage, I feel like my Native American side runs deep, and I just think I have a lot of angels.
Absolutely.
And I know I do, because
Bro, you went over the freaking handlebars.
Yeah, I mean, when I lived, right?
Yeah.
But funny story is, before my mom met my dad, she had a late husband, and he rode Harleys. He passed away on his Harley. They went to go see a medium, like 3 weeks after my accident. It wasn't like a one-on-one, big ass, one of those just popular mediums.
Yeah.
They'd never been to something like that, so they wanted to go. There's over 1,000 people in there. And he calls out my mom and my dad, and he says, who just got into a motorcycle accident? Picks him out, and she's like, that was my son. And he tells her, like, Manny was there, her late husband.
Chills. Whoa.
So she's being told that her late husband watched over me.
Wow.
During that
Full
accident.
chills right now. Wow.
And said that I also had Native American angels there to watch over me. And that's the reason why I'm even alive. So
Bro.
it's from that moment forward,
That is
my
crazy.
life really did change.
Yeah.
And something that, because maybe some people out there like feel the same way if they've ever been in something like that. I have never felt like I've been in the same life. I feel like I died. If that makes any sense, but I feel like I did that.
Dude, I think
and now I'm in another hole. I'm in this other opportunity that I don't really know how to explain. And I'll tell you why I don't know how to explain it. So basically, we'll get to that part on how I don't know how to explain it. But Jared Dean as an artist, Jared Dean as a man. As an artist, I think I really want the best for people. And that might not always come out in every single song that I make, you know. Definitely a fan of like some grunge shit. And I'm even a fan of some dark stuff because I feel like, let's not be naive, both energies are in the world, you know.
Of course. Just writing about that.
I just think a lot of people who think like peace could be ultimately achieved in the world. Sorry, it's like
it's balance.
It's a balance.
Yeah.
And it is out there, and it does exist. So, as an artist, I just want the best for people, and when I create, I want people to feel my experience and be able to find comfort. I guess find comfort. So whether it's comfort in motivation or if it's comfort in someone just lost somebody, you know, I want people to find comfort in some of my music, or maybe fun. It's all there. Me as an artist, I feel a little bit deeper nowadays. Even as of like a couple of days ago, I was watching this show called American Primeval. Highly recommend. But it's about Mormons, the Native Americans, pioneers, and the U.S. Army. It's definitely, I mean, there's fictional characters and fictional storylines on it, but it's based on real battle and everything that took place. And like, I guess this year I definitely want to get closer to my Native American roots. But lately as a man, it feels a lot more filled with the honor that I can bring to my own self. And I feel like I have to give it to myself because I think some of the American dream kind of has taken some of it away in terms of like forgetting your roots a little bit.
Bro, yeah.
So for me, I'm proud to be an American. I want the American dream, but I forget how much honor comes from my culture. So like, to me, it's a little bit more restoring it to myself as a man. So that's why. So
your roots, like Native American stuff and a Mexican. And
for me personally, being monogamous is for me that as well. Just like
that's huge, bro. How we've lost sight of that in the world.
Yeah, loyalty, the trust, and so that to me as a man, relationships. Like I'm cool with a lot of people, and I can be cool with a lot of people, but my circle is definitely
smaller,
like tight, and my circle is just not to be messed with, you know, because we all hold each other close like that. We really have each other's backs no matter what we're going through.
Of course.
And I just know there's people out there. Someone could watch this and be like, man, I love that guy, JD. Get this infatuation and think they can live in that circle and provide that same loyalty and trust that I already have with people. I don't need more of it, you know? So those are kind of the differences between me as an artist and me as a man. I'm definitely not a loyalist, you know? So I don't need someone's complete loyalty. I don't. I have a buddy in New York that we talk every couple of months and catch up.
Was he the guy on the outro to your song? Who was hyping
that's
you up?
Virginia.
Oh.
And that's John Luke.
That guy's dope. Everything he said I resonate with.
No, he's mad though. I love him. I love that guy, bro. He's actually what so 168 being a brand and the record label, he's the East Coast division. So he kind of represents what 168 means over there in the East Coast. And what 168 means for most people is everything we're talking about. Being the best version of yourself, whatever that means, living in your authentic truth, in your individuality.
Let's go.
That's 168, straight up. 168 hours in 1 week, bro.
That's what it is?
That's what it is. And what it
Got
is if you knew you only had 168 hours left, you know you would live your life differently. So why are we acting like we all have this time on the clock? Because time's of the essence.
Absolutely.
So you don't know when you're going to go. You don't know your date. You know what I mean?
Bro, I want to ask you about what you said. You said it felt like you were born again, or it felt like this is your second life, you know?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, when they're developing and they're coming into finding themselves, having their passion, creating their life's purpose and their mission, they go through this process of being born again. To speak to the spiritual side of it, it's like baptism, right?
Right.
But I think there's this aspect where your old self dies and the new version of you, the new version of you that is the authentic and purest expression of yourself, comes to the forefront.
You know what?
And I think
some people have to kill themselves, quote unquote, in order to find that, right? When they talk about, I had to kill the old me.
Yeah.
You have to do that. And speaking on that, because I can relate to that, soon after my accident, I actually went through a period of alcohol. And like, I mean, I can't say that I can't exercise, because I could have ran, could have done squats, I could have done all that stuff, but I didn't have that mindset just yet. I was just thankful to be alive, you know? But it slowly started coming to me where I was kind of abusing myself. Me and Arlene both. I mean, we were just like drinking every day and shit. And it came to us one day. My brother was like, come to this event with me. And because me and Arlene have been talking about it.
Yeah.
We need to change our lives, you know, for the better, because look what just happened. And I'm like, I don't want to do this, you know.
Yeah.
So we go to this event. I forget exactly what it was called, but it was held by Dan Fleischman. He's like a mogul. And I believe Wes Watson was there.
Nice.
Bedros Koulian,
yeah.
he was there. A bunch of people were there. And to say the least, it was very motivating. I still follow some of them. I can't agree with everything everyone says over there.
Of course,
you guys, if you're in the game, you fucking know. But long story short, that was the day. That was the day that we really made that change.
Yeah.
And then we've been consistent ever since. So we had to kill our old self there between the alcoholism.
What was that switch?
Seeing the success. Seeing the success and seeing the women too. There was men and women on both sides of the panel, and probably like 6 each on each side. Mind you, I don't know how much of it really comes from the mogul people, and then you got influencers and who really is doing it and who really isn't, and who's the front and who's not. But still, seeing the success is what was motivating.
And it helps you, bro. That's all that matters.
Exactly. And so I just knew from that day forth, I was like, I do not know his name. Black gentleman, no legs, shredded guy with arms, had his first like MMA match, official MMA match, like last year or 2 years ago. He was there, and it was that guy too, who was like,
what did he say?
I got
something?
no fucking legs. He's like, I got no fucking legs, and I get up every fucking day, and I do what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like, if you have all your limbs, mind you, this is like a little paralyzed here, but I got my full ass body. So he's like, if you have all your limbs, he's like, there's no excuse.
Yeah.
You just have to, have it inside you. And
100%.
It was even that guy that was just like, man, come on. There's no excuses.
So you basically were like, you know what? I don't have any excuse to not get my life in order. And then that was the day you really put the bottle down.
That was it. And she was on board. Arlene was on board, which was awesome. There's definitely women in the past that would probably not have been on board. My music is different because of the way I carry myself as a man.
Absolutely.
That's how I know my music is different. And that's how I know it's going to find its audience when it does. And I'm not going to force that. I know I have to do what I have to do as an artist, get involved in this algorithm a little more, things like that. But sometimes I almost rather do something like this and have this interaction.
Yeah, bro, I think as you're 26, man, and you definitely carry yourself as a much older than 26. I think that's a testament to the life that you've lived and the work that you've done on building yourself. I think when people go through those dark times and they find a way to pull themselves out of it. And like you said, you literally had a moment where you felt like you were reborn, and God kind of gave you, or what you believe to be, angels kind of helped you and giving you a second chance. Man, like that gives you that wisdom and that authenticity and fervence when you speak, because you're like, I'm blessed to be here, and I've been through stuff, and I've bootstrapped my way from a low point to a place where I am now, where I'm proud of myself. One of the aspects of this that I find to be so incredibly important in a young man's life, right, is finding the right spouse, the right woman, the right person, partner to kind of take on life with, to plan a family with. Can you tell me, because I know you and your relationship with Arlene, it seems like y'all are kind of ride or die for each other 100%.
Yeah.
And I, whenever I'm around you, you always talk about your woman. You always say like how you're getting things right with her, and you guys are doing stuff together, and you guys train together. It's awesome,
Yeah.
So can you talk to me about like how you met her and kind of what it's been like?
My life is filled with crazy stories, man. Because I feel like I know right now when I say this, Elijah's gonna be like, what
Cat.
the fuck? Like,
No, tell me. How'd you meet her, bro?
When I met Logan and Anaya, like 3 or 6 months down the line, he invites me to her birthday. And that was it. I mean, she always knew, apparently, that I was going to be in their lives somehow. She would tell him, you need to be friends with this guy because he's going to be in our lives. Like, yeah, like little things like that. And he's like, I don't know, he is just a salesman. And I might have been just a salesman, but I definitely was just a genuine dude always. So always just like rocked with them being there. It was cool. And they invite me and I come. At this time, I am with someone. We're not dropping names. So I'm with somebody. Arlene is also with somebody. This is the first time I laid my eyes on Arlene. Crazy situation. By the way, if y'all ever want to corroborate the story, it's to the T. But anyway, so
she gonna be like, I didn't even notice him. No, I'm just kidding.
At what's it called? Hops and Spokes.
Yeah.
So that's where I met everybody. Like, I met them there at the brewery. Yeah. And I remember looking at Arlene, and I just remember thinking, holy shit, she's beautiful. And she wouldn't look at me. So here I am. Introducing myself to her mom, her dad, whoever else was there. There's a couple more friends around, her little brother. I'm like, just introducing myself. I'm Jared Dean. Yeah. And she wouldn't look at me. And then I noticed this guy next to her. I say what's up to him. She don't look at me. And I find out later when they invite me back to the house that that's her boyfriend. I'm also with somebody. So mind you, I'm not like,
you're just trying to say hi.
I'm not, I'm just trying to say hi. Mind you, I was trying to say hi. So, I had chatted with her a little bit at the house, just real quick, and I know that we both will never forget it. We took that first look into each other's eyes, and it really was a love at first sight. We didn't talk again after that. By the way, there was nothing serious. We were rapping and drinking beer, like. She was freestyling for fun. Girl did not know me. You know what I mean?
She freestyles?
Not like that, but she was that night. But it was crazy.
That's cool.
So we don't talk like the rest of the night. I leave. I think maybe like 2 weeks go by, and we both happen to be traveling around the same paths of our relationships. So I was already kind of unhappy in my relationship, and she was also already unhappy in her relationship. And then that moment, unspoken, we didn't talk about this stuff. Both said, well, if I feel this way about someone like I don't even know, I probably shouldn't be in this relationship. Yeah. So I ended things with my relationship.
Wow.
Not knowing I was going to get with Arlene or, anyone else. Most of the time, you take a long pause. Yeah. Most of the time, you take a long pause, okay? So apparently, she does the same thing. I don't know about this. I'm over here thinking she's with somebody, you know what I mean? And I end things on my end. So
JD's Mr. Still Your Girl.
It's certified. That shit's certified though. So I remember we like ran into each other like a couple more times. There was like a bike event we had ran into each other that I pulled up just to say what's up to Logan, be the homie with Logan and shit like that too. Of course I was excited and hoping she was going to be there, and luckily she was there a couple times. So like, I'm actually, let me back that up. Maybe like a month when we first saw each other, to then seeing each other like a couple times, not on purpose, completely by accident there, I guess. And there was a point where maybe I saw her like 3 times total, and then I got in that accident.
Oh!
And then I got in the accident. Did not talk about anything relationship-wise. Whoa. Nothing. Also had my first show 1 week before that accident, and she came to that.
She came to your show?
She came to my first show ever.
Got you.
And
bro, this is a cool story.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. And I was crushing on her at my show and shit.
Yeah.
She knows that too. But like, mind you, we didn't talk about that stuff. We just did it. You know, a little flirtatiousness.
I think when it's real love, like you really like somebody, you're not the same like talkative kind of player type.
You don't even know though. You
don't even have.
Also, like I just ended a relationship, so I'm like, is this even a thing? Like, what is even going on? So
it's like a real.
I got into the accident, and before I went into surgery, I guess I like called her on Snapchat or something, or snapping her, and I don't
he
even
gonna
know.
blame it on the meds. He's like, I don't know.
She blames it on the meds, but I don't remember the conversation.
I don't remember.
But apparently, I did do that.
Yeah.
And
you were like, if I'm gonna die in this, at least I'm gonna say my last piece. Right?
But I guess I didn't say anything along those lines. But I was like, oh, like I'm going into surgery. Like it's good to see you. Like I'm alive. After the accident, I think it was 3 days after the accident, I started recording music like crazy. And within like 5 days, I made the Life as It Happens EP. I made it in 5 days. And one of the songs on there is called Low Key. And so I wrote that and recorded it 3 days out of surgery. I'm in pain, like I'm on meds.
Yeah.
And I sat down in my room, wrote it and recorded it. And then I sent it to her. And I was like, this is how I feel.
So it was 100% for her.
100% for her.
Okay,
and then
so then we
she
got
heard it and went like, oh, like this is crazy. And then she went and like told her dad, like this guy just wrote this song for me. Like, what the heck? Meanwhile, she knows that we felt the same way about each other, and she let me know right there and then.
You're like, I'm just gonna be low key.
I think I feel the same way. Like, like let's go out, you know? So we went and had our first beer. It's like 4 days after surgery now. I shouldn't even be driving, but I was so convicted. I had a conviction of love. I really did. That from that 4th day out, I don't think we ever went like 2 days without seeing each other. I went and drove to see her every day.
Dang,
every
bro.
day. And then I think I moved in after like 3 weeks. I'm not even kidding.
That's so cool. Wait,
and that's it. I was recovering. We went through not a rough patch in our relationship, but just like our little life story of how we built to what we have now. It was a little rougher when we first started out, but it was it. I mean, we were just convicted to be ride or die from that first fucking eyesight that I can't even explain.
That's cool.
How that happens. I really can't. Like,
and you got some things squared away. Y'all got your place and everything and all that like that.
I mean,
that's cool.
I really do think I have a special love that a lot of people yearn for.
Bro, that's awesome. I never see you guys apart, you know? That's awesome.
We do everything together. I mean, we work out together.
That's awesome,
We
bro.
train together. We walk the dogs together. Everything is us. So everything is how we have everything we have now because of that.
Bro, I love that, man. That's so cool. I think that's inspiring to a lot of people that are like, you know what, that stuff exists and it's real. One of the things that you said where you were talking about you were on meds, you just got in an accident, you kind of crushing on this girl, and then you wrote her a song, and then that was kind of like, like a real
confession, you know?
Yeah. But so in that, how has music been an outlet for you emotionally?
Always. I mean, I couldn't say it.
So you're able to write it.
It's an outlet. 100%.
So it's a way for you to express your feelings and emotions in a way that comes out naturally.
I think so in the same tape, to put that into perspective, go listen to Whole Lot of Love, Whole Lot of Envy. It's quite the flip side of something I couldn't describe how to get off my chest with my last relationship.
Yeah.
So there's even remnants of that,
Yeah.
in the same project.
Yeah, so his music has been something that's been cathartic for you as well.
Always. So when I first started out, you can see some of the, I think, like sadness and then maybe naivety of growing up. First, just becoming an adult. And then I think now 5 years later. There's a lot of maturity in my music.
Yeah. That's cool.
God's
bro.
guns, glory. I don't know the whole nine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, this is the process. The coolest thing is one of the things about art and creating anything is that you are able to document your progression of yourself as a man, as a human being, as the person that we are, you know. And looking back on some of your music that you feel like, you know, it's a little naive, or, you know, I didn't know certain things at the time, and now you see,
or just no purpose to even.
Yeah,
it's like maybe a song wasn't an outlet.
Yeah,
which is okay.
It's
all
fine.
Right.
It was
you
just
could have
fun.
that music too.
Yeah,
you know.
I think it's really cool, and I would say it's so important that people just start creating, because, you know, you get to actually have a log and a catalog, a portfolio of your documented evolution as a person.
Yeah, and you know, for me, it's music. I think some people don't realize the power of some of the stuff they have. Like, do you write at all? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I will.
I feel like you're a great speaker.
Thanks.
I think you're a great host.
Thanks, bro.
You know, so like,
I write on like X, and then I'll just write on my notes app and stuff too.
Yeah, I honestly think you have a talent for that. Like, I think you have a gift for putting that down on paper, for a lack of better words, because obviously we live in a digital age. But,
appreciate that.
You know, so I think some people, they might see like musicians and think, oh, that might be something I want to be. That's okay to think that. It's okay to want that. But in the same token, your power might lie with something else. For me, I think my power is my voice. And I think my talent in melodies and stuff like that is just how I'm able to get my voice to your ears.
Yeah.
So I just think that's my gift, you know.
For Arlene, that's how it was.
Exactly. and look at it. I mean, I don't know. There's so many good things that have come from believing in my gift, I guess you could say.
Bro.
So,
can you talk to me more about that, man?
Yeah.
Like, when you say like good things that have come from believing in your gift, like, you know, can you expand on that?
You know what? I think it was something you posted this morning that was like just amazing. That was awesome. You have to know, and you do know, you're deserving. You have to know that you're deserving. You have to believe that you're deserving. Beyond that, I think it really goes down to limiting the noise, the outside noise, and listening to the one that's in here that is so quiet. It's quiet.
Yeah.
So how are you going to hear that quiet voice? You need to spend time in that fucking dark room alone. Honestly, dude. And that's what the studio is for me, oftentimes, is that dark room, listening to that little voice, right? And you know what you need to do. I think God is like our all, you know, creator and everything like that too, but he lives within us 100%. And that's that voice that you hear. What am I supposed to do? And you hear, stop drinking. But you're like, well, no, I don't want to do that. Come on. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
We know.
You know what you need to do. You just didn't want to do it, you know? So, by the way, I'm not like against drinking. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah,
that's all.
Well, I mean, for you, that's a very salient example, because you probably heard that exact voice and that dialogue and that conversation when you went to that event, right?
I did, and you know what? I went sober for a little bit too after that event.
What made you finally listen to that voice?
Hearing them finally, like hearing someone say, this is where it's at. That's where it's at. Literally what I just told the camera, them saying that is what made me realize, oh, like, I'm fucking dumb. Like, like, why don't I just listen to myself?
Hard,
Exactly, but we make it very hard, and we make outside circumstances, we make external circumstances define us what's out here, because this is what we can see, touch, and hear. But that's just not. I mean, life is just so much bigger than that. You know, just like when they say, like, this is just our sack that we're living in, almost type of beat. This is your vessel that you're living in. There has to be something in the vessel. Of
course.
You know, so
to that
hearing
end.
these successful people even say, actually, even to give him his flowers, Wes Watson is definitely the big pusher on that of it's in here.
Yeah.
You're not meditating, you're not manifesting, you're not getting there. That one was the big one that helped me figure that out.
Yeah.
So now when I'm like, I'm gonna say no to this person, and maybe I don't want to say no to that person. You know, maybe I'm like, fuck, I love this person. I don't want to say no. I'm like, but I got shit to do.
Yeah.
And that's what's always gotten me here, is realizing when to say no to. Whether it's for financial reasons, whether it's for a spiritual reason, or something like that. Learning when to say no and listening to that voice of, this is what's going to get me to the next level. That's what it is.
That's huge, bro. I think you speaking right now, what comes across is your just development and you believing in yourself and trusting in yourself. I think that's the mark of a man. I think that's really, if we want to objectively define it, it's someone who believes and trusts in themselves. Because you can't believe and you can't trust in yourself if you haven't worked to be someone that you can look in the mirror and say, I'm competent and I trust where I'm headed, where I'm directing myself, and I've directed myself to a good place. And so now I trust where I can direct a family, where I can direct a partner and a spouse and stuff. You mentioned something too, though, that I wanted to touch on. You said, for me, you got to put yourself in that dark room and just, you know, and work on these things internally, mentally, you know, getting those emotions and figuring it out. For people who don't have the studio, for them it's not rap, it's not music, right? What has been your other outlet in life?
Okay, so I guess that would be.
You done?
Like, yep. I guess that would be fitness.
Yeah.
To an extent.
So can you talk to me about like how fitness has helped you, and creative and emotions and all that?
Fitness has definitely helped me when it comes to some of like the. You know, and I guess the big thing in like gym culture or like coaching culture is non-negotiables. I think that idea alone of having some sort of discipline in your life, showing up for yourself, that kind of is the reason why I'm into fitness just in general. And I probably will forever be now at this point. I don't see myself ever stopping fitness unless I had a severe injury that actually hindered me from doing that, let alone told you guys about the guy with no legs. So I don't know. Just saying, I might not ever stop. Yeah, there's no excuses. But I think for me, it was a way to develop discipline, show up for myself, and give me mental clarity. And it gave me the one thing of, no matter if everything goes wrong in the day, there's always that one thing that I can do right, and it's show up for myself. So even if the workout didn't go as planned, I still showed up for myself. And I think that was like the biggest takeaway in terms of fitness being my outlet, another outlet for me. So showing up for myself in here gives me the clarity.
Yeah.
Simple.
Powerful.
It gives me the clarity. I don't think if I didn't have it, dude, I don't know where I'd be. I don't know what I'd be doing.
Bro,
I'd be wasting my time on something else.
Yeah.
I'm going to just guess something that's more than likely not healthy for me.
Yeah.
In general. And I like to think about primals. So that's another reason why I even just have to move my body a little bit. Just every day, man.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting on the couch, get your ass up, bro.
100%. Fitness is the thing that saved my life, bro. I had no idea what I was supposed to do when I was over 315 pounds. I was, working a corporate job. I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, bro, like, fat, lazy piece of shit. I don't like who I am. I don't see the man that I know and I believed at one point I thought I was, and I kind of just looked to God to be able to give me some clarity and some direction. And I wrote down all these things on a board and try to, find my life's purpose and passion, and nothing came, man. No clarity. The only thing I heard, the only voice that would come to me was, get fit.
Right.
Go to the gym, work out. It was simple. It was just, you got to lose weight, bro. You got to get in shape. That's
gotta get healthy.
It's all I heard. And I was like, same way where it's like, just put down the bottle, bro. Like, stop.
Right.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's the one thing you're kind of being like, no, that's not it. Because you just keep pushing it off. It's like, no, I have to have some grandiose plan. It's like,
right.
God is going to give you exactly what you need in the moment that you need it. And that's all I needed.
Yeah.
Fitness allowed me to get myself right, to get healthy. It showed me to find a job opportunity, to move across the country. It allowed me to help people through personal training. It got me right. I got to a place where I was confident in myself.
Yeah.
And then all of the things that we see today and now, all came because I pursued fitness.
Let me ask
bro, we're
you.
in the gym right now, bro.
And let me ask you this, because it sounds like you just started actualizing on yourself. How many times did something come for you? You didn't expect it, whether it was good or bad, but you learned something that ultimately took you there. How many times that happened when you started? I'm curious to know on your side.
There are so many moments, bro. You know, up until really in these last few months here, there are so many moments where, and it even still happens, where every single day, bro, I cried in my car. Every single day I was like, bro, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. God, please help me. Please show me a way, you know? And it was like, I just go to the only anchor point I had was the gym. You know, wherever I was in the world, wherever I was traveling, whatever, was the gym. And at the gym is where I got to meet people. It's where my work opportunities came beyond even the gym. It's where I was able to have conversations that helped me to realize things, where I got to, you know, financially, where I got to connect with my mom and heal relationships.
Good.
Every single one of these things, I was just given piece by piece, continuing to show up at the gym.
Now, here was my main point on that.
Yeah.
Making the grand plan is not going to get you where you want to be.
Exactly, yeah.
Spending your time making the grand plan is not going to get you where you want to be. Sometimes you just have to take the step. Take the first step and then put the other foot right after the other one. I mean, it's a nonstop thing. And now, look what he's built from doing that, one foot after the other.
Yep.
And the relationships he's making, us talking here right now. I can tell you right now, for 168 Records, my music, everything else I'm doing, I didn't have a grand plan. I'm telling you, I didn't have a grand plan.
Yeah.
I just started. I just worked. I put in the time. I had the trust, the belief in knowing that this is the first step, this is the next step, and this is the next one. This must be the next step because this is how I feel. And those are the things that are going to make you who you are. And guess what? When you end up in those situations of, what the fuck am I doing? Should I even be here right now? Those are the moments that'll define you, because you're either going to fall underneath the pressure and become dust, or you'll become a diamond. So that's where I'm like, to any listeners, if you are looking at yourself right now, like, what should I be doing? Take that first step. Don't worry about that grand plan.
100%.
Your life will fall into your hands,
bro. Absolutely. And that's the biggest thing, is just little by little, piece by piece, and it keeps getting revealed to you. You just get just enough to take the next step. And that's the thing, is everyone's always scared because they can't see what the next two steps are, right? Sometimes you can't even see what your next step is actually laying its footing on. And that's where walking in faith comes. That's the idea of walking on water. I've been there. You know?
I'll share a little story real quick.
I want to hear it.
So like,
I'm gonna hit this right here.
Yeah. Me and Arlene, when we first met, to kind of shine a little bit of light on that. I mean, there was a time where we were financially, like, it just got a little hindered. You know, she was supposed to have a decent job when I met her, and things ended up falling out on that job, and that job was supposed to support her and her alone. I did step in the picture. It was enough to support me if she really wanted to, but I mean, I was in recovery, collecting an EDD paycheck. So anything that I had to offer came from that until I was able to work again. And then after I was able to work again, I got a job at Haven Dispensary, which was minimum wage, but I couldn't take it. I mean, I couldn't take not working. I couldn't take not feeling active. I mean, I couldn't take collecting the money I was getting from EDD. I had to just go make a little bit more. So I went ahead and I started. I didn't care that it was minimum wage, man. I fucking had to get my foot back out into the real world. And it was tough for us for a while. I mean, it was tough for us for like a good 6 months. It was real rough. But that's another thing. I mean, me and Arlene, we met each other, and we literally started at the fucking bottom with each other. And a year later, our lease is up. We end up moving in with my brother-in-law, sister-in-law. Lived there for a little over a year. Something happens. Won't talk about that. I end up living. I'm thinking, man, how am I ever gonna see, like, the fruit of everything that I've been working hard for? Things are just not going my way, and this was in the beginning of 2024. And me and Arlene have been working hard. You know, she got a new job, I got a new job, and you know, for those that don't know, I'm in the union, stuff like that. And not too long after, basically like 2 years later, after a full year of being together, basically 2 years later, you think I'm not gonna have any of these things, but it only took 2 more years, and then me and Arlene were able to afford a house in like one of the worst fucking times that you can try to afford a house. So
It's cool, bro.
my story is like, honestly, if you're really not down with the people that you're with, and if you're not down to go through like some turmoil with them, like just stop, like, you know, put yourself with the right people. I kind of forgot a little bit where that full circle story was, but it was having nothing to actually attaining everything.
It's walking in faith.
Yeah, and that's what it was. Honestly, blindly.
You didn't know you were going to get this job or you were going to do this or whatever.
Didn't even think I'd have a house right now, honestly.
Bro, that's freaking
in the city I wanted it in. We almost bought in Beaumont. We almost bought in Harupa Valley. There was no houses over here.
Yeah.
No houses in Yucaipa, and this one just popped up.
So when you were drinking and you kind of found yourself at a low point, did you picture yourself as the man you are today with this girl?
No.
It'd be pretty hard to do, right?
No,
but you had that moment and you knew that you listened to that call, to that voice, and little by little, I mean, bro, I could see through your music, I could hear it, and the conviction that you speak with, and the things that you're talking about when it comes to personal development, growing as a man, the lessons that you want to share through your music, the overall message you want to share. I mean, you bro.
Yeah.
You're a superstar, bro.
I didn't know.
You're a superstar, bro.
I think I
you really are, bro. You are.
That, bro.
It doesn't matter about the views.
It doesn't feel that way sometimes, but like,
bro, it's never gonna feel that way.
I guess it's never going to.
I think at some point you have to realize, like, oh, bro, like, this is what I'm in the middle of right now. It's like, we're living it. It's never gonna be like how we think it is. It's gonna be. You know, it's like. This is the moment here. These are the kind of the times in which we're in the grind and we're working hard. And this is the moment where you look at Kanye saying, I'm going to be this or that. Or you look at all these people who made, I'm going to be world champ. I'm going to have this successful podcast. I'm going to have a clothing brand. I'm going to do this. People have made these statements and they were nobody. They were nothing. And people were like, laugh.
Yeah, you're not going to do that.
Yeah, you're not going to do that. And then look, 5, 10, 15 years down the road, everybody gave up on their dreams, but they still kept hammering away, bro. And now they're like,
and that's another thing,
you know?
That's how you know.
I did that.
If you fall off too easy on anything that you're working on, you're probably not doing the right thing.
That's facts.
Because I just feel like that year that I took off of making music, most artists, most creators would have fallen off. They would have said, well, I'm not doing this no more. I'm not doing it anymore. So it is what it is. Rather than just saying like you're an artist and sometimes shit takes some time, like, and you have to have priorities straight. That's another thing. Anyone that tells you you have to go put yourself in a position to where you can't support yourself, you have to dive all in on being an artist and support yourself through that, like, I just don't agree with it. I got everything from working a 9 to 5, working my ass off. You know, I have a regular job. I do research and investing, you know what I mean? I have a great partner, blessed. I can't necessarily take accountability for that besides being myself. Having a strong woman by my side is definitely, without a doubt, one of the biggest factors of why I am who I am, plus everything I have. I mean, it's just...
You built all this, and you one of the things that you said that we were kind of left off on was, you said you disagree with people saying you have to be a starving artist.
Yeah, I highly disagree with having to be a starving artist.
You are working hard as a man and getting your stuff right, 9 to 5, all that, and you're having a relationship, you know, and you know you're dialing it in every other area and aspect of a man in this world, you know, and I think that's so important. One, from the aspect of, you know, people can't be out here just looking for handouts and stuff all the time. You got to work hard and you got to be that man. But also, the lyrics, your art form, what you create is indicative of the person that you are, and they're highly correlated. So as you improve yourself, what you create and what you produce, what comes through this vessel gets better as well. If you didn't grind, if you didn't show up to put your family first, if you didn't work hard in the gym, if you didn't get yourself out of a low point, you know, and do this and get better and improve yourself, your music and your art wouldn't be improved as well.
Yeah, and you know, I had those moments of being tested too, like how you talked about those moments of like sitting in the car. Yeah. I mean, I had those moments of being tested that year that I was making that change. Yeah. It's funny because it's the time you decide to say yes is when shit will hit the fan.
Yep.
And I promise you, you need to take that roller coaster and not be afraid and buckle in and learn all the lessons that you're supposed to learn. Shit, I mean, I've done it all. I mean, I've been in that. I've had my fucking truck engine blow up on me. I mean, I've done it all. Like I really have. I really have done a lot of the stuff that drive people crazy and make people panic and kind of like they end up taking a shit on themselves because they think that their life is about to fall apart from this situation. And I can't tell you that one year that I said yes and all of these things were happening to me at once.
What'd you say yes to? Say yes to God?
I said yes to just being my higher self, better self.
Yeah.
Grinding, right? Like nonstop, all that other stuff.
And saying yes to...
But yes to God too, because I think it was like the year of just bad juju with my cars, man. I had a BMW take a shit on me. Then I got this truck, and the truck was lemon. Then it was too old to file with the lemon law lawyers and all this other shit, paying out of pocket for the repairs, things like that. My down payment's already down the drain. So there's all these things that happen to me over and over. And the biggest lesson that I got from it all that one year was patience. And it was... This isn't defining.
Yeah.
Just watch. And by the third time I had a problem with my truck in that same year, I had 3 major problems with it. The third time it happened and it took a shit on me, I went, oh God. I literally was speaking to him. I was like, God, all right, you're not going to get me with this one. I was like,
hell yeah.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all good. This moment will define me. I need to call my brother, I need to call my parents and just talk about what is the next best step. That's it. And from that point was when now I feel unfazed. I feel unfazed by a lot of things, bro. Like,
yeah,
a lot of things. Money unfazes me now. Like, I'm not scared of it anymore.
So cool,
there's
bro.
a lot of people that live in fear of money. I don't live in fear of money no more, so
take away the money part. There's a lot of people that live in fear, bro.
100%. But for me, that's what it was that year too, though. Fear of losing all this money, thinking I'm not gonna get it back.
Yep.
And there I am, 365 later. My life is completely different. I have a brand new truck now.
Let's go.
I have a 2024 now.
Yeah.
So like things change, you know what I mean? But you definitely have to stay poised. Stay poised and trust, man. You gotta trust. You gotta have faith.
Bro, you know what?
Faith.
I wish that Arlene was here because there's one question I want to ask her.
Yeah.
And the question I'd want to ask her would be, what made you...
Arlene, you're gonna leave this in the comments, okay?
Yeah, leave this in the comments.
For the audience.
What made you know that JD was gonna figure it out? What made her feel like no matter that we don't have money, this job didn't work out, you got in an accident, all these things happen, the truck, all that, because for some reason, right, I kind of know why. I could tell because you got that thing about you where you are that man, but I'm just curious what in her was like, no, he's gonna figure it out. I can trust him. I can trust him. He's the leader. He's gonna figure it out.
I think my heart, and it's not like even on a love tip.
Nah.
But I think for all of those that don't know, you definitely vibrate. We are vibrations down here,
Yeah.
I think there was just a lot of trust in my heart and in my intentions. So we talk about intention setting a lot at home, and we are constantly setting our intentions.
Yeah.
So now together we do it too, but I think early on, how did she know? I'm not sure if she knew, per se.
She felt it.
I think there was just this trust because of my intentions. I don't think I ever said anything in particular I won't let us go any deeper than this.
Yeah.
Because I know I didn't say anything like that.
No.
But I think she knew the conviction in my own heart of I got us. I got it. Because she just knew that we both knew that the love was real because the way our paths crossed, we're so twin flame. She's born 3 days after me, same year.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things that I see is you have, like you said, you have a heart. We're thinking about 168, thinking about what you're trying to do. It's a similar message to what I'm trying to convey. We're trying to help people become the best version of themselves, and that doesn't come from being somebody who is only looking out for themselves, right? It comes from being someone genuinely where you want to see good in the world. You want to see other people do well. And I think that speaks to an element of like a spiritual growth too, you know? So what has your path been like with that like spiritual component, the self-actualization, thinking about something beyond yourself? Like, you know, I know that, like I see the tattoos. I know Arlene has a lot of these tattoos that are kind of sacred geometry or different things like that. Like, talk to me about that spiritual component, you know? What has that been like for you?
Like I mentioned, was born Catholic. I don't take away anything from my Catholicism, but I just, like, I hate, like, I'm not a hypocrite or something. So like, I don't practice Catholicism like that. Like, I'm not in church every Sunday, but it was a foundation in my life of knowing just Jesus. And I guess that's like the real crutch that you have when you have nothing else. So I think ever since the accident to where I felt like I woke up in this new life, like this new opportunity to have a different attitude about things, not be so reckless. You know, I still ride Harleys and shit. I was a little reckless while I was working at Harley, like not just the way I would ride, but the life I was living, you know, was definitely a little reckless. I'm glad to not be in those shoes. But spiritually,
like, so like when you do things, you do it like resonating what's true to your heart, or do you do it because it's like God, or like, you know,
a little bit of both. A little bit of both, because like I think there's times where, like, let's take helping somebody out in the street, for example. I'm pretty particular. I don't help everybody out there that I see. I don't. But there's sometimes people out there in the streets where it's like God is like really telling me to go help that person and maybe ask if they're okay, or, you know, give them some water, even if it is a couple bucks. I know some people are like, you know, really against giving money to people, but if it's a couple bucks, I mean, I'll give it to somebody. But I feel like those are times where maybe like God is speaking, and there's other times like this, like I don't necessarily feel like this calling, like God was just like, hey, you need to go do this, you know? I think God put our paths together, that's 100%. For sure, but I'm doing this part because I want to, you know? I think that's where we talk about the difference between spirituality and being a man. I think there's that difference of like, no, I'm doing this because I want to. I'm doing this because I'm backing your cause, you know,
well,
your
that's
cause
discernment,
to become.
and that's trusting yourself as a man. But I think that's that spiritual evolution. What I've defined as spiritual evolution, and starting to understand more, is like it's the authentic and pure expression of yourself to the world. Right. I think that's spiritual development, and I think for you, I
think I've done a lot too. What you're just saying, spiritual development. I think I've done a lot of that in the last 3 years.
Oh,
like big time.
Yeah.
I think like talking about my sister-in-law Naya, she's helped me to grow certain ways and detach. I'm just a believer. I'm a big believer in positivity and negativity and energies and attachments, and I definitely had something like negative lingering around me for a really long time, and she helped me start that detachment with that. And then I remember I went to a Reiki session one time, had a crazy gnarly experience. I mean, that's a whole nother episode, but I felt the distance be made from that negativity, which now I definitely walk in light from that. So I definitely don't feel like this something is like following me anymore. I definitely have an attraction to like spiritual things that go on, like even in my house. We could talk about that another day too. But yeah, I think I've done a lot of spiritual work in the last 3 years in terms of like learning how to set your intentions and things like that. I mean, setting your intention is the first step to actualizing. That's for one. And you'll know if you really want to do it depending on what your intention is. And, you know, I think like if you were doing this for clout off of me or something like that, I probably wouldn't have done it, but you don't give me that energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I never
really do things for clout. I don't really care.
You know, like
and the only way that I actually think that I'll ever generate any type of clout is if I do none of it for it.
100%.
The only way to actually achieve this goal of like trying to create a successful podcast and trying to like reach people at that scale is authenticity, bro.
That difference between the fame and something else, right? And like what happens when people chase fame, they get stuck with all of these dark energies and people that want to manipulate and take advantage, and you're a pawn. So I think just on the spiritual side, man, like it really has to come from your want.
Yeah.
You have to want to believe in something else. You know what I mean? I had nothing. I know I had nothing, and I'm not afraid to say that now that I have everything, I'm on that same crutch.
Yeah.
Like I was Jesus when it was nothing. Now I have everything. It's still Jesus because I'm like, I can't really explain it. I know I put in the hard work, and I know I did all this other stuff. I know I had my intentions right, but I think that was the big turning point. Is I was only running there when things weren't good, and now I'm just there all the time.
Yeah.
But you have to you have to want that, whatever that means to you. So it doesn't have to be like if Jesus don't work for somebody, bro, cool, whatever, all good.
Yeah.
But you need that positive. You need a positive reinforcement to fall back on.
With the spiritual aspect, how has that kind of shaped and influenced your creative process? How has that shaped your decision making? Like when you think about making a decision in a new move or creating a new project, I know that we talked about your creative process, but I'm curious about just your decision making process as a man. Like, what do you think about? Is it like what is God telling me to do, or what am I feeling? Like
sometimes I try to leave God out of it in making music.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Okay. Could totally agree or disagree with this.
Bro.
I'm sure you've heard before, don't trust a man that doesn't have a dark side.
Yes. I just wrote about this.
100%.
Yes.
I agree with that because like we talked about the balance in this world. I just think every man has to have a little bit of a dark side.
Every human being.
And it's to protect yourself. It's not necessarily to do like harm on people, but it is to protect yourself, I think, to some form of extent. So if you don't have someone that has a dark side enough to protect their woman or protect themselves or things like that, like you will be tested. So
with that decision,
I try to leave God out of it sometimes.
I think, bro, I think you don't. You want to know why? I think you don't.
Like there's a song I didn't put out on the digital streaming platforms. I was going to, but I didn't, I guess because of what you're talking about.
And what do you mean by that? Like to unpack
it was
that?
called Judgment Day. And it's kind of like nonsense and to some form of extent. There's definitely a lot of truth to the song, but then there was like a fun rap creative to the song. Yeah. But it wasn't entirely the influence that I wanted to put out on my platforms
100%
for my listeners. Will I still put it out one day? Maybe. Yeah. But
I'd like to hear it.
I low-key had a battle with myself, and that's why I dropped Always War on digital streaming platforms before I did that song.
But I wanted to say, I think, bro, that, and this goes back to maybe what Arlene saw inside of you, I think that when you're saying you're leaving God out of the decisions and things that you make,
sometimes, but
I think God, I think you have something inside you, man, where the decisions that you make are like inherently aligned with a divine aspect in you that you're not necessarily considering fully. Like I think I think like as a person, you're a little bit different, man. Like even when you were down in the trenches a little bit, when things were hard, things got rough, you still believed, you still had faith, you still believed in yourself. You have a conviction where you believe in yourself, even when you don't see all the crazy like, oh bro, I've been on tour, a bunch of stuff, all this, you're believing in yourself because you know who you are.
Right.
I think that is your connection to like this divine aspect. Yeah. And when you're saying you're not just considering God, I don't think you need to consider God.
Right.
I think you need to just trust yourself, bro.
Yeah, no, I think you're right because like
you trust yourself.
I would agree with what you're saying.
That's cool.
Because I think sometimes it's like a subconscious thought. Yeah. And me saying that I'm not considering is like, well, I more than likely am considering. I think because I'm not actually putting it in my forethought that it's like I'm saying I'm not.
You're tapped in, bro.
Right.
You are naturally tapped in, and you've done the work to improve that. And so I think that is what like a woman can see in a man is when it's like God leads the man and man leads the woman leads the family, and kind of that hierarchy, right? Yeah. And not to say that comes from a confidence, that comes from love, all these good things. A lot of toxic stuff can be included in that. I don't agree with that. But I think that you have that being led by something higher and something greater inherently inside of you, and I think you fostered it through the hard work and through the hard times that you've been through.
And like you're saying, tapped in, that comes in that flow state, like we're talking about.
Exactly, that's that flow state.
Yeah. Well, and it comes with like, I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Because I feel very flow state all the time.
Yeah.
So
I love that,
I
bro.
do. I don't. The only time I don't is the second I wake up because I'm getting there.
Bro, well, you know, one of the things is like in that flow state, like I think that's the aspect of trusting yourself. And if it's not in flow sometimes,
Yeah.
as a man, you have to be like, maybe that's not right for me. Maybe
Yeah.
that's not meant for me. And you have to make that decision.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
think
know.
you've made
Yeah.
that decision a lot of times in your life. You're like, you know what? That song's just not the right one. That's not, I don't feel that beat, you know?
Right.
And that's like, it's gotten to where you are now to do all these things of trusting yourself. One of the things that I take away from speaking with you, JD, is that trusting yourself wins, authenticity wins, and doing something where no matter what, you're trying to, you know, work to improve, to be the best version of yourself, and you have that unshakable belief in yourself, bro. Like when I listen to your music, I felt it. Speaking to you, I see the man behind it.
I appreciate that because I'm not gonna lie. Like I talked about ego earlier, right? Like people were mistaking it for ego, and I'm like, I'm really like a nice, humble guy. I
just
swear,
really like that,
but
bro.
there's nothing wrong with having a confidence, and my confidence does come from the work that I've done.
Exactly.
So when people are overweight and these things, you know, maybe not everything in their life is aligned, start aligning those.
100%.
Start aligning that shit,
Yeah.
man, because that's when you're going to be able to walk with a higher confidence, a higher vibration, and that vibration rubs off on everyone else.
Absolutely.
That vibration also attracts negativity, but it turns into like a bop, bop, bop as you're walking through it all. You know,
literally, that's it. Like as I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I feel no evil, right? Like that's the thing. When you have that confidence, you're walking in faith and you're believing in yourself. Like you are not afraid. Those things bounce off you, and you know because you're aligned on that path, that mission.
Yeah.
And that comes from building up that confidence. You know that you've been in the trenches, you've been working hard in the gym, in the studio, in your life, in your relationships, doing the healing work, doing the Reiki sessions, all that stuff, connecting to God, right? Like when you do that, bro, you have that unshakable, undeniable aspect about you. I see it in your music, bro, and I'm so freaking stoked for what's to come, bro. All right, so that's it for Cause to Become podcast episode 3 with my man JD here. Absolutely amazing conversation. So excited for you guys to really unpack and dig into this. And you know, now I want to open the floor here for JD to let you know about where you can find them. You know, so JD, can you let the people know where to find you, what you got coming up, any new stuff?
Definitely. Instagram, Threads. I think my Twitter might be different. Don't worry about that. TikTok, I don't really do all that. But just in general, Jared Dean with 3 N's, Jared Deann. You could also find me at 168 Records on Instagram, all spelled out, no numbers. You can find my music on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, various other platforms. I'm always open to conversations with my audience. Definitely keep all that negativity away from me. But my point being, you want to ask something about me, you want to learn something else about me. Maybe you have a question in regards to my music, relationship advice. I really am an open book. I like plugging away with the audience and helping people out. I just love helping people. One of the reasons why I train here too at Revolution. And then other than that, this was a great conversation.
Of course, man.
I couldn't thank you anymore for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Keep your eye on this man right here. So,
and the same goes across all those platforms. Please go and watch, all JD stuff. Go and listen to his music, because I'm telling you, you will understand that there's this spark of something more, of a man who has been through working hard to better himself and to create a vessel that's going to put out great music to the world. I'm freaking super excited to go ahead and we're witnessing the rise of a star here. He's gonna not like that because I'm hyping him up, but it's real talk. It's real talk. I believe it fully, and it's just an honor for me to be able to have this conversation here with JD. There are great men who are in the making, who are building themselves right now, and if you're one of those, and there's great people out there who are working hard, it may be that moment, that lonely chapter where you're in the trenches, where things are tough and you're grinding. JD had that accident. He was, his car went out on him. I had that moment where I looked in the mirror, I was overweight. Like, people have those low points, but trust the process. Step by step, continue to walk in faith, listening to stuff about people who are improving their lives, listening to good music, to good content, to people who are really creating. That's what's going to help you stay the course in all this. Blessed and grateful always, and we out.